In the vast span of time, human civilization stands as a brief yet remarkable chapter in the story of the Earth. From our humble beginnings as wandering hunter-gatherers to the complex, interconnected world we inhabit today, our journey has been marked by ingenuity, conflict, cooperation, and the unyielding quest for meaning. This is the story of us, the rise of human civilization. Our story begins deep in the African savannas, nearly 200,000 years ago. Homo sapiens, our species, had emerged, distinguished by our large brains and upright posture. But for tens of thousands of years, we lived much like other animals, hunting and gathering, relying on the resources around us. We moved with the seasons, following the herds and collecting edible plants, living in small nomadic groups. These early humans were not without culture. They crafted simple tools from stone, wood, and bone. They communicated, shared stories, and even left their marks on the world. Handprints on cave walls, paintings of animals that would one day disappear. These artistic expressions were the first signs of a cognitive shift, a spark that would ignite the flame of civilization. About 12,000 years ago, a profound transformation occurred. Humans learned to farm. This moment, known as the Agricultural Revolution, began in the Fertile Crescent, a region stretching from the eastern Mediterranean to modern-day Iraq. For the first time, people began to cultivate crops and domesticate animals, allowing them to settle in one place. The shift to agriculture was monumental. No longer reliant on hunting and gathering, humans could store surplus food, leading to population growth and the rise of permanent settlements. Villages emerged, evolving into towns and eventually into the first cities. Farming not only provided food, but also freed some individuals from the daily toil of subsistence. This allowed for specialization. Some became potters, others weavers, toolmakers, or traders. Over time, this specialization would lead to the development of complex societies, laying the foundation for what we now recognize as civilization. By around 3000 BCE, the first true civilizations had emerged in several river valleys, where fertile soil and access to water enabled large-scale agriculture. Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, was home to the Sumerians, credited with creating the first known form of writing, cuneiform. Civilization also flourished along the Nile River in Egypt, where powerful pharaohs ruled a society deeply entwined with religion and the afterlife. The Egyptians left an indelible mark with their monumental architecture, the pyramids, and their advances in mathematics, medicine, and astronomy. To the east, the Indus Valley civilization thrived in modern-day Pakistan and northwest India. Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, two of its major cities, were marvels of urban planning, featuring sophisticated drainage systems and standardized brick sizes. At the same time, China's Yellow River civilization was taking shape. Early dynasties laid the groundwork for a culture that would endure for millennia, influencing the world with its innovations in metallurgy, agriculture, and philosophy. By the 5th century BCE, the ancient world was marked by the rise of powerful empires and the flowering of philosophy, science, and art. In Greece, city-states like Athens and Sparta became centers of political thought and culture. Athens, in particular, gave birth to democracy, a revolutionary system where citizens could directly participate in government. Philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle pondered the nature of reality, ethics, and governance. Their ideas would shape Western thought for centuries to come. Meanwhile, in the East, the Persian Empire under Cyrus the Great was establishing one of the largest empires the world had seen, uniting a vast and diverse region under a single rule. To the south, India was experiencing its own golden age under the Maurya and Gupta empires. Buddhism and Hinduism flourished, and advances in mathematics, like the concept of zero, would eventually spread to the rest of the world. Meanwhile, China entered its own classical age during the Han Dynasty, making incredible strides in technology, art, and trade. The Silk Road connected East and West, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures. In the Mediterranean, another power was rising: Rome. Initially a republic, Rome would grow to dominate much of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. The Romans built an enduring legacy of law, engineering, and military prowess. But by the 5th century CE, internal strife and external pressures would lead to the fall of the Western Roman Empire, marking the end of the classical world. The fall of Rome did not mean the end of civilization, but rather the beginning of a new chapter. The Middle Ages, also known as the medieval period, saw the rise of feudalism in Europe, where kings, nobles, and knights held power, while peasants worked the land. The Christian Church became the dominant force, influencing all aspects of life. In the Middle East, the Islamic world was flourishing. After the rise of Islam in the 7th century, a vast and culturally rich empire was born. The Abbasid Caliphate, with its capital in Baghdad, became a center of learning and culture, preserving and expanding upon the knowledge of the ancient Greeks, Romans, and Persians. In Asia, China experienced several dynastic changes, with the Tang and Song dynasties bringing about an age of cultural and technological advancement. Gunpowder, paper, and the compass were among the many innovations that would later transform the world. Meanwhile, the Mongol Empire, under the leadership of Genghis Khan, swept across Asia and into Europe, creating the largest contiguous empire in history. The Mongols facilitated trade and communication across vast distances, linking east and west in ways never before possible. In Europe, the late Middle Ages witnessed the devastation of the Black Death, but also the seeds of renewal. The Italian Renaissance was beginning to take root, reviving the art, science, and philosophy of ancient Greece and Rome, setting the stage for the modern age. The dawn of the modern era was marked by exploration and discovery. European explorers, driven by a desire for wealth, power, and new trade routes, set sail across the oceans. Christopher Columbus's 1492 voyage to the Americas opened up a new world for Europeans, forever altering the course of history. The dawn of the modern era was marked by exploration and discovery. European explorers, driven by a desire for wealth, power, and new trade routes, set sail across the oceans. Christopher Columbus's 1492 voyage to the Americas opened up a new world for Europeans, forever altering the course of history. The Enlightenment of the 17th and 18th centuries ushered in an age of reason, challenging traditional authority and fostering revolutions in science, politics, and human rights. The Industrial Revolution soon followed, transforming economies, societies, and the environment with machines, factories, and urbanization. And so, the journey of human civilization continues. From the first spark of intelligence to the rise of cities and empires, from the Dark Ages to the Renaissance and the dawn of the modern world, our story is one of survival, innovation, and a relentless pursuit of progress. As we look to the future, we are reminded that our past is ever present, shaping who we are and what we will become. This is the story of us. Finally, thanks for watching and subscribe us for more videos like this.